Have you ever wondered why we fear what we fear? It's a question that has fascinated psychologists for centuries. Fear, as a fundamental human emotion, is not just an inherent response to danger. It's a complex weave of learned behaviors, experiences, and sometimes conditioning. This brings us to the concept of conditioned responses. In simple terms, it's the process by which we learn to react in a certain way to specific stimuli. It's why the smell of freshly baked cookies might bring a smile to your face, or why the sound of thunder might make your heart race. But what if these responses could be manipulated? What if our fears could be induced, controlled, and even extinguished? These are the questions that led to a turning point in the field of psychology. To understand this better, let us delve into one of the most famous experiments in psychology, the Little Albert experiment. In the year 1920, American psychologist John B. Watson and his graduate student, Rosalie Rayner, embarked on a controversial experiment. Their subject was a 9-month-old baby boy named Albert, who was initially unafraid of a fluffy white rat presented to him. But the experiment was far from a simple playdate with a rodent. The researchers carefully conditioned Albert to associate the sight of the white rat with a loud, startling noise. They would strike a metal bar with a hammer behind Albert's back each time the rat was presented. The noise was so jarring that it would make Albert burst into tears. Week after week, the process was repeated. And with time, Albert began to cry at the mere sight of the white rat, even when there was no noise. The harmless creature had become a symbol of fear. But the experiment didn't stop there. Watson and Rayner found that Albert's fear extended beyond the white rat. He became frightened of other white, fluffy objects. A rabbit, a fur coat, even a Santa Claus mask. Yet what's truly alarming about this experiment is not just the fear instilled in a young child, but the ethical considerations it raises. Watson and Rayner manipulated a baby's emotions with no regard for his psychological well-being. They created a fear that could have lasted a lifetime without any plan to reverse it. What started as an innocent interaction with a white rat ended with Albert associating fear with not just the rat, but with similar fluffy white objects. The Little Albert experiment, though ethically questionable, brought forward some key insights into human behavior. This experiment shed light on the concept of conditioned responses, demonstrating how fear can be instilled and generalized across different stimuli. It revealed how our fears are not always inherent, but often shaped by our experiences. This understanding has profound implications, providing a basis for therapies to address phobias and anxiety disorders. So the next time you wonder about your fears, remember Little Albert and the experiment that changed our understanding of human fear.